Good afternoon. As I'm sure you all know, we just came back from the White House for a meeting with President Trump. And in that meeting, we covered very many subjects. The first part of our meeting at the White House was in the Oval Office, and most of that was actually televised, so I needn't take you through that. But before the press was allowed in, again, he was very inquisitive about how the situation in our country, what are the threats that we have to worry about, and how are the other countries around ASEAN, Asia Pacific reacting to what's going on in West Philippine Sea. He asked us many questions about the situation, including the status of the different militaries around the area. So we had a we covered a great deal of ground. Now I think I can already tell everyone, as it's come out already, that we managed to bring down the 20% tariff rate for the Philippines to 19. Now 1% might seem like a very small concession. However, when you put it in real terms, it is a significant achievement. There's more to be spoken about with the United States concerning the tariff rates and our trade deals. So that I think is so we have a 19% rate coming from for imports coming from the Philippines into the United States. And however, comparatively speaking, we are still doing more. They told us that it is because of the special relationship between the Philippines and the United States. So that's the gist. I'm sure you have questions about it, and I will open the floor. But before we get to that, I have with me the latest report, an update on Kuching. We already have 487,964 families affected. 49,617 people are inside 500 evacuation centers, and there are 2,790 families who are staying outside of the evacuation centers, who are obviously being serviced by the DSWD for their needs. Relief goods have been supplied. We have, unfortunately, we have to report the casualties. There are 6 dead so far, 5 injured, and we have 8 missing people. And the rains have not really stopped. The floods have not subsided in Metro Manila, especially in Metro Manila, pero kahit sa ibang lugar mukhang ganun din. Meron pa rin flooding. 1,875 areas have reported flooding. Region 1, 2, 3, CAR, NCR, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11, 12, Caraga, and Barm. Debris incidents, fallen debris incidents, we have 9 rain-induced landslides, collapsed structures, etc. So I can provide you with these statistics later on. 1,486,876 people are being served either inside or outside evacuation centers. I've been through the casualties. The main cause for casualties were fallen trees, drowning, and flood currents. We still have 1,800 sales. The damage to infrastructure, they estimate thus far, is at 4 billion 7,442,667 and 75 centavos pa. But that is the estimate as of now. As you all know, ano lang yan, that is still the immediate. The incident is not yet over. So loss to agriculture is estimated now at 134,655,000 pesos. Mimaropa alone is already 113 million in terms of losses. So kaya we have been watching it from the start since we have left. We spent most of the morning going through this to try and make sure mukha naman magandang response ng mga teams natin. They have been able to provide the relief goods. They have been able to evacuate as many people as possible as needed to be evacuated. And so we are just hoping for the floods to subside, the rain to lessen, and the floods to subside, so that we can start again a cleanup process. All right, that's my statement to begin with. I'll open the floor to questions.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. On tariffs, we also saw the post of President Trump on Truth Social. So he also indicated a lower tariff of 19%, as you said.
Can we do something about the microphone? Thank you.
Although he also said that the Philippines is going open market with the United States and zero tariffs. Can you elaborate more on this?
He also said that.
The Philippines is going open market with
Yes.
the United States.
Well,
and
there
zero
were
tariffs.
certain markets that they were asked to be open that are present that were presently in this right now are not open. The major areas that he said were automobiles, because we have a tariff on American automobiles. We will open that market and no longer charge tariffs on that. So there's several. But also the other side of that is an increased importation from the United States for soy products, wheat products, and pharma, actually, medicines, para makamura naman yung maging mas mura yung gamot natin. So we are coming to those arrangements. There's still a lot of detail that needs to be worked out on the different products and the different exports and imports. But basically, that's now our template. That's what we are following, is a 19% tariff rate on Philippine goods that are imported into the United States.
But Mr. President, isn't the Philippines getting the shorter end of the stick here by having still higher tariffs from 17%? It's still higher. It's still higher at 19%, whereas we're giving them zero tariffs for certain sectors.
Well, that's how negotiations go. We came here, when we arrived in Washington, tariff rates were 20. So why it came up from 17 to 20 is an internal matter with the United States government. So the number that we had to work with was 20. So we tried very hard to see what we can do. And we managed the 1% decrease in tariff rates.
Mr. President, a follow-up on the tariffs. First, before I ask about the ammunition hub, the U.S. ranks as the Philippines' biggest import market, or rather export market, and yet it ranks only as 6th when it comes to imports, with China being our number 1 source of importation. How do you intend to address that deficit, considering that the deficit...
Which deficit?
The deficit between...
With the U.S. or with China?
With the U.S., sir. Let me give you the figures first, but let me just find the page very, very quickly. Sorry for the delay, sir.
No, well, I mean, which deficits are you talking about?
Sir, there is
How
a
do we
big...
plan to reduce the deficits?
Yes,
Which
sir,
deficit?
there is a big trade deficit between the U.S. and the Philippines. As of 2024 data, we have a 4.9
How much?
billion, 4.9 billion
Yes, that's
deficit.
that. Oh, okay.
Yes.
We have the same number. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's up by 21.8% from 2023. How do you intend to address that deficit so that tariffs may hopefully be pulled down further from 19%?
Exactly, as I said, we will I suppose it is a living thing. Maybe we can go back to this if the markets around the world are able to adjust. But the way what really is to offset the trade of balance deficit that we have, and that is by increasing imports from the United States. That's part of the new regime that we will be following in terms of trade with the United States.
Sir, my original topic that I have listed, the U.S. ammunition hub that is planned in Subic, how is this related? Is this actually even related to your meeting with the CIA and with the defense? What are the particulars that were already in place with regard to that planned ammunition hub in Subic?
I don't think anything was on that subject. We didn't do any work on that. That had been decided a long time ago. Not naman a year ago, but almost a year ago. We decided we already had decided. And like I answered when we were in the Oval Office, kasama ito, tinutulungan tayo ng mga Amerikano sa SRDP natin, as our Self-Reliance Defense Program. That's really something that we were going to do anyway. Kahit wala tayong katulong, gagawin talaga natin yun. They've offered to help, so.
Sir, do we have figures as to how many jobs it will actually create once that hub is already finalized? And how do you intend to face threats or warnings from China, considering that we expect them not to react positively with this development in Subic as well as the Luzon corridor?
Well, before we go to your question on the jobs, there's been much comment and say that the infrastructures, military infrastructures, and the programs that we are initiating will make us a target for China. Are we not already a target for China? So I think that what we have to be thinking about is protecting the Philippines. All right?
Sir, John from the Daily Tribune. Sir, may we know if there were any agreements or on the defense and security areas that has been signed between you and President Trump in your earlier meeting with him? And if that's the case, we also wanted to clarify there's a line in U.S. Defense Chief Pete Hegseth remarks from your meeting with him yesterday. He said that we are also deploying a new cutting-edge missiles and unmanned system and revitalizing defense industrial bases. Maybe can you elaborate more on that, sir?
Yeah. Before I do that, let's go back to your jobs question. Maybe the Secretary of Defense can best answer that. How many jobs will be created by the facilities that we are doing for the provision of ammunition for our military? Para sa dito ka na.
I believe the original concept, although it is funded by the U.S. Congress, it will be FDI, so it's a foreign direct investment concept. We can envision a private entity going about it on a commercial basis so that they can hire people on a commercial basis. Depending on the scale, initially about 200 to 300 people, highly technical people. But then there are downstream industries. Of course, they will have to build access to port facilities. It will regenerate revenue on a commercial basis for Subic. It will increase our trade flows. So that is an example of U.S. government-sponsored foreign direct investment to help our people and our self-reliance too. So that will also cater to commonality of production of munitions, which is at a worldwide shortage at this time of all calibers, whether direct fire or indirect fire. And as we go on, we will review the business proposal because it is on a business case basis, being foreign direct investment. And then after we finalize the details, we will have more to report.
All right, and to your question now, we stay here first because this relates. As a matter of fact, there were during the meetings there were no agreements that were up for discussion at that time. Kasi sandali lang, and actually the Secretary Gilbert, yes, Secretary Gilbert and the other cabinet secretaries came ahead. Some of them were here, they 17th, more or less around there. So marami na silang napag-usapan. But you'll have to understand, whatever defense arrangements were arrived at, much of it we cannot talk about because they are operational details. But maybe there is something that you can discuss.
Well, sir, the gist of the discussion was the enhancement of our ongoing collaborative activities bilaterally and multilaterally. Of course, we are nuancing the Balikatan as an interoperability exercise. That being the case too, it also readies the armed forces of the Philippines to adapt to new skill sets, face new threats and challenges, and ultimately acquire the necessary infrastructure for introducing new systems, including deterrent systems. And so this is a major part of the takeaways from this trip, the enhanced cooperation, including assurance of support for our continuing modernization of the military, our armed forces through the Philippine Security Sector Assistance Roadmap and the Philippine Enhanced Resiliency Act. And we're very thankful for the continued advocacy of the Trump administration for it in connection with the U.S. legislature under the leadership of President Marcos.
Sir, if different topic lang po, may we know if the topic on the immigration, particularly on the undocumented Filipinos, has been raised or no?
It's not been raised. It was not in this forum. But we are of course well aware of the situation. And thus far, I think in our estimation, what the United States is doing now is not anything different than they've been doing before. Ito yung mga may record o yung mga wanted o yung mga convicted, lalong-lalo na kung sila ay illegal, TNT sila, yun ang mga pinapauwi nila. Sa ngayon, yung mga pinapauwi nila, ganun pa rin yung mga those that have been convicted of committing crimes that are also in fact illegal. So that's the situation with the immigration so far.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, E.S. Bersamin mentioned that you were dismayed with the preparation or putting of tarpaulins days before your SONA. Can we have more details about that, sir?
Well, it was a surprise. I only found out early this morning when I got up. That's what they are doing, and that's why I fully agree with what has been done. That's highly inappropriate, and I suppose. Or may utos sila na maglagay kayo ng kung saan hindi na nasabi, bahala nga, ba't pa kayo maglalagay dyan? So the order didn't go out but it has now. We say just paubayan nyo na muna yan, ayusin nyo na muna yung ating response crisis. So yeah, that is an unfortunate misjudgment on their part, but we've corrected it, and I trust it will not happen anymore.
But sir, may we know where are we or where are you in terms of the preparation of SONA? It's already on Monday, so gaano po ba kahaba yung ine-expect natin?
No.
How different is this SONA from your previous SONA?
Well, they're all a little different from each other, no, but they will be different. Because the situation, you remember, it's a State of the Nation address. And the State of the Nation today is different from what it was last year and the last year before that. So, it, of course, necessarily will be different. We will be talking about mainly the same things about the social projects of the government for people in need. We will talk about the programs that we are going to that we have initiated and will continue to promote and endorse as we until the end of, certainly at the very least until the end of this term. Hopefully, it will continue after my term. So that's what we expect from the SONA. How far along are we? Well, when I knew that I was coming to the United States to meet with President Trump, then I cleared my schedule, and I said we're going to lose 4 days, so we have to make it up. So I cleared my schedule. I've been working very hard on it. As soon as I get back, we'll be working on it again. But I think we'll be there. We'll be back Wednesday evening. We'll start work on it Thursday. I'm sure we'll work on it over the weekend. So mahabol namin yun. I think we'll be all right, because what we have already written is substantial in terms of the SONA is about 80% written. So konti na lang fine tuning.
Pahabol lang po on other issue. Related po sa typhoon, may we know kung bakit po na-approve yung request ni Secretary John Vic Remulla na siya na yung mag-announce ng suspension of work and classes? Ano po yung wisdom dun sa DILG?
So that dissemination of information is better. As is very simple. Because if there's ganun yan, kasi halimbawa ikaw it affects you. Where do you go? Which website do you consult? Where do you so pagka ganito, basta sinabi na the SILG will make the announcement, and that is what's wala nang fake news, yun na yung katotohanan, yun na yung totoo. So it's just simple, it's just to make things clearer, because sometimes nagkakaproblema because hindi naman malicious, misinformed lang. Tapos pinopost, sinusundan ngayon ng tao, mali naman pala. So we're just trying to improve that system. On the
Sir, Secretary Remulla has been growing flack for how he actually tweets or posts his statement. In the words of netizens, it's too informal. Medyo pa-joke po kasi yung sabi niya. Have you advised this on his matter? What do you make out of these criticisms? And go ahead, sir.
People criticize me for the way I speak. That's the way I speak. That's the way he speaks. As long as he gets the message across, that's what it's for. That's what all of these postings are for. It gets some information across, and as long as he achieves that, then he manages to do what he sets out to do. I am not I'm not exactly a judge of how do you say literary style. I don't know how you want to put it. So that's really, I would consider that out of my purview.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. As you assess the administration this year, as we will hear on Monday in your address, and given your consistent performance review, are there changes, or what are the changes you want to make, and can we get an update on the performance review, sir?
Wait for the SONA. Ikaw naman. You'll steal my thunder. Mawawala yung ano ko. Well, and then, like I said, hindi pa naman tapos. So, but I think that everything all that we need to impart to the people will be in the SONA, in the speech in the SONA. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sandra po from GMA7. Mr. President, there was mention of U.S. assistance, especially the armed forces of the United States helping us with the relief operations.
Yeah.
And may we get more information, how are we going to operationalize, for instance, the use of EDCA sites, and are they going to bring in relief goods or equipment perhaps to help us?
The answer is simply yes, all of them. As a matter of fact, Admiral Paparo, the commander of the Indo-Pacific Command of the United States, left early upon our suggestion na makabalik na siya para maumpisahan na ang pagdala ng tulong para sa ating mga naging biktima dito sa Krising. And I know that, I think he spoke to Secretary Gilbert this morning and last night, and sabi na nag-isa na. So maybe you can feel fleshed out.
The EDCA sites that are up and running, namely Fort Magsaysay, do contain relief goods already repositioned. Now, what we need, as of this time, not yet, but we foresee, because of the merging of the two tropical depressions and the incoming monsoons, that we will need their assistance in terms of airlift and other capabilities. And so Admiral Paparo is coordinating with General Bronner, our J3, and the Indo-PACOM's J3 operations are already coordinating so that the needed capabilities are brought in. But I repeat that there are relief goods in place already that have been prepositioned by the U.S. government. Now, it is the mobility assistance that we do need. We do have sufficient Black Hawks in order to lift areas, goods to vulnerable areas when conditions permit. But if we need to do it on a higher scale, for example, like what happened in Naga City last year, which we need to plan for, we have to have the coordinated mechanisms for easy deployment of these capabilities. Every deployment, mind you, is very costly on both our side and their side, more so on their side, because these capabilities are coming out of the theater into the theater. So they entail considerable costs. Therefore, even on our utilization of our own air assets, this has to be coordinated so that we make maximum use of the asset and do not waste cargo space and flying time and ship time. We will also have assistance, because we need the assistance and the coordination first. Before assistance, coordination. On mobility, because our road network sometimes cannot carry heavy loads. So we need to airlift them. We need the V-22 Ospreys. We need the Chinooks. If ever there comes a time, which we anticipate because the rains will come, that we will need a coordinated response. So that needs advanced planning, hence Admiral Paparo's return to Hawaii and General Bronner's constant communication with him.
If you remember, when I visited the repacking plant, if you want to call it that, of the DSWD, we were saying that ready already when we first I first came into office, the reserves in terms of relief food packs was 550,000. That has now been increased to 3 million. And I bring it up only to further illustrate how EDCA is being used for HADR. And yung iba dun sa 3 million na food packs, dun naka-istasyon na yan sa EDCA areas. Those, especially those in the most vulnerable areas for typhoons and for flooding, and also, of course, ngayon, we have to worry about Canlaon, we have to worry about yung pagputok ng bulkan, so those incidents as well, and any other incidents that may come up that we cannot predict.
Good afternoon po, sir. Shanal Salazar from RMN. Going back po sa tariff, how would you justify po sa Filipino people, especially to our small exporters and manufacturers, that a 19% tariff is acceptable or fair?
It is not our decision. So I will justify any decision I make, but it's not my decision. That number doesn't come from the Philippine government.
Last po,
So
sir.
you will have to ask whoever imposed the 19% tariff how they justify it. I couldn't answer it.
Last po sir, your reaction po because Senator Amy Marcos suggested pushing for a 10% tariff. So in dealing with the US trade policies, was this issue raised during your bilateral meeting po?
Which the
10% po yung sinasuggest
our
ni-
bilateral meeting with whom?
with President Trump.
No, it didn't come up. Again, I won't, if anyone can bring us that down to 10%, it would certainly be welcome. But no, it didn't come up at all. All right, with that, sige, maraming salamat. Thank you.